In a world where power often corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely, one man stood as a rare exception: Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man on earth. Leader of Rome, guardian of millions, ruler of a global empire, and yet he remained humble, honest, grounded, human. How? How did Marcus Aurelius lead armies, govern a turbulent empire, face plagues and betrayals, and still preserve his soul? Today we dive deep into his story. Subscribe now to stay connected with daily Stoic wisdom and never miss a chance to strengthen your mind. Let's continue. And by the end of this journey, you will see that you don't have to rule an empire to apply Marcus's wisdom. You only have to rule yourself, the world Marcus inherited. Marcus Aurelius was born in the year 121 AD. From the start, his life was different. He was chosen, adopted into the royal family by Emperor Antoninus Pius at the urging of Emperor Hadrian himself. He was destined to rule, but Marcus was no typical heir. From a young age, he preferred philosophy to politics. While other boys dreamed of battles and banquets, Marcus sought wisdom. He studied with the best minds of his age: Junius Rusticus, Fronto, and other Stoic teachers. By the time he became emperor, Marcus understood something most rulers never grasped. Power is a test, not of strength, but of character. A throne built on responsibility, not privilege. When Marcus took the throne in 161 AD, he faced crisis after crisis. The Antonine Plague devastated the population. The northern borders erupted into war. Internal politics threatened to tear Rome apart. He ruled not during peace and luxury, but in chaos and suffering. And yet Marcus did not see himself as entitled to greatness. He saw himself as a servant. In meditations, he reminded himself daily, "Do your duty without complaining." This was the secret. While other emperors thought the empire existed to serve them, Marcus believed he existed to serve the empire. The daily battle, ego versus duty. Imagine the temptations: to indulge, to command, to dominate. Marcus had absolute authority. No senate could stop him. No court could judge him. And yet, he fought himself harder than he fought any external enemy. Every night, Marcus would write to himself, not to boast, not to posture, but to remind himself, "You are mortal. You are fallible. You are a servant of nature, not its master." This private journal, what we now call meditations, was his greatest weapon against pride. He knew the true enemy was not the barbarians beyond the frontier. It was the tyrant within. Key practices that kept Marcus grounded. Marcus didn't rely on hope. He relied on discipline. Here are some of the key Stoic practices he lived by. 1. Morning reflection. Each morning, Marcus prepared himself mentally. Today I will meet people who are meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. He expected challenges. He armored his mind before stepping into the chaos. Second evening, self-examination. Each night, Marcus reviewed his actions. Did I act according to reason? Did I let anger or fear govern me? Where did I fall short? Self-accountability kept his ego in check. 3. Negative visualization. Marcus practiced imagining loss of power, of health, of life itself. Not to create fear, but to cultivate gratitude. Nothing was owed to him. Everything was on loan. 4. Focus on the present moment. Despite ruling an empire, Marcus often reminded himself, "Confine yourself to the present." The past was gone. The future was uncertain. Only the present was real. Marcus's greatest challenges. Despite all his efforts, Marcus's reign was not easy. The Antonine Plague killed millions, including some of his closest advisors. Wars along the Danube River drained resources and morale. Even his own wife, Faustina, was rumored to be unfaithful. Betrayals, death, uncertainty. And yet, Marcus never collapsed into self-pity. He saw suffering not as a punishment, but as part of nature's design. In Meditations, he wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Every hardship was an opportunity to practice virtue. Every loss was a chance to strengthen character. The poison of power and how Marcus resisted. Most rulers become addicted to power. They lose touch with reality. They start to believe they are gods. But Marcus never lost sight of one truth. He was just a man. Flesh, blood, dust. He constantly reminded himself that fame, luxury, titles, all would vanish. All would be swallowed by time. Why cling to them? Instead, he chose to cling to reason, to justice, to duty, because those were eternal. What modern leaders can learn from Marcus: you don't have to be an emperor to practice Stoic leadership. Every day you rule an empire, your own mind. And every day you face the same temptations: to take the easy path, to let ego drive you, to seek comfort over truth. Marcus shows us another way. Lead with humility, serve rather than dominate. Accept hardship as training. Act with justice, regardless of reward. Whether you're leading a company, a family, or simply yourself, the principles are the same. True leadership begins within. The legacy of Marcus Aurelius. Marcus died in 180 AD. But his true legacy was not buildings or battles. It was his example. He showed the world that you could hold ultimate power and still remain virtuous. You could face endless trials and still remain grateful. You could feel the weight of the world and still carry it with grace. His life was proof that the soul need not be corrupted by the crown. It can instead be polished by it. When you wake tomorrow, remember Marcus. You may not command legions, you may not wear a crown, but you are still a leader of your thoughts, a leader of your actions, a leader of your character. And like Marcus, you are tested every day. Will you let the world shape you, or will you shape yourself? Will you chase comfort or pursue virtue? The choice is yours. Marcus made his choice. Now it's time to make yours. Stay strong, stay steady, stay stoic. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe for more. And if you have any thoughts or experiences to share, feel free to leave a comment below. See you in the next video.